we say to a child, don't spill the milk, they have to make a visual image of spilling the milk in order to understand your sentence. So if I say to your audience, don't think of the color blue, what's the first thing that leaps to your mind? A big blue dot, right? So if I say don't think of the color blue, you think of it. If I say to a young child, don't spill the milk, you watch, their hand will start to shake, they'll be looking at it. It doesn't mean they'll spill it, but you've enhanced the likelihood of getting the negative behavior because they've mentally rehearsed it already. If you say instead, keep the milk in the cup and just drink it ever so comfortably now, won't you? That'll have a completely different effect internally. Same, and in business, you know, I'm sure you've been to meetings, I've been to meetings where somebody has said, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that, I don't want you to screw up like you did the last time. And when we say that to someone, or someone says it to us, they are having us mentally rehearse the very result that they don't want. So instead, we need to focus on what it is that we really want, and we need to speak in the affirmative, not out of some Pollyannish sort of, you know, power of positive thinking, but because that is how our human brains work to process language, and it enhances the likelihood we'll get it. Now, standing alone, that's not enough, but great communicators do know that they have to avoid negation, and they need to say what they want. Now, that leads to another tricky bit of business, though, because you have to know what you want, and then you have to understand that the words don't mean the same thing to the other person. Like if I say to you, I like fish, what do I mean?
You like seafood.
That'd be the most common interpretation. But I could mean I like to have fish in an aquarium. I like to look at them. I like to hold them in my hand. We don't know. There could be all kinds of weird things that I mean by I don't like fish. Or if I say to you, I'd love a turkey sandwich. If you're going out, would you get me a turkey sandwich, please? You might do that for me because I was polite, right?
Correct, yeah.
And I saw you make a little picture of a turkey sandwich when I talked about it. You made it right here, as a matter of fact.
Yes, I did. I think I did.
So tell me about that picture that you made right here of that turkey sandwich. What does that look like?
Well,
and the viewers can see your eyes moving. Yeah.
Wheat bread, turkey, lettuce, maybe a tomato. I'm not sure if I saw that.
See, by the way, how she's looking. She's referring to a creation she made in her own mind.
And I could picture, here you go.
Right, perfect. And you were very happy about it. You could see her posture was upright. She had a happy expression on her face, although most of the time I think you do anyway. But here's the thing is, that turkey sandwich sounds great to me. But was it the thick turkey or the thin turkey?
Oh, probably thin.
Thin. Now what she's done is you've pictured the perfect turkey sandwich for who?
Me.
Right, exactly, which is great. I would love it. But what if I wanted mustard on mine or something like that? Now, if I say, would you get me a turkey sandwich, and you go and get me that, whose fault is it that I didn't get the perfect turkey sandwich I wanted? It isn't yours.
Well, I guess the communication was, could you get me a turkey sandwich on white bread or rye with mayo or mustard?
Exactly. Or if I said to you, could you get me a turkey sandwich, and you said, yes, I'd be happy to, then I might say, oh, by the way, I'm so weird about this. I'd like it on this or that with this kind. And you'd probably be just as happy to get me the exact one I wanted. So what this means, and what we have to understand, is that the words don't mean the same thing to everybody else that they do to us. And so we have to find a polite way of always checking to see if our communication matches up.
If it's registering with the other person, if what you're saying, they're getting.
In the same way that you intend it.
Okay.
Like if you say to a child, go clean your room, and they say yes, and an hour later they haven't, they may not even be disobedient because you haven't said when you want it clean, in what way. And so that requires some clarity. If you, at work, give an assignment, or let's say with a husband, you're married.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say your husband comes home one day and you ask him to help you with something, and for once, because we husbands are generally uncooperative, he's happy as could be to do it. Have you ever had this experience where he goes off then to do happily what you've asked him to, and he comes back all excited and he shows it to you? It bears no resemblance to what you were looking for. You ever had that experience? So I'll take that laughter as a yes. So we want to help as husbands, but we bring back this thing that was the perfect thing in our mind, not yours.
Right.
Now, if you make this a habit with people to ask, like, oh, by the way, when I say that, here's what I mean. Is that okay? Can you do it? What happens is it creates this cycle of better communication, because you were right. When I asked for the turkey sandwich, I could have said more specifically what I wanted, or I could have checked. And also, as you become more experienced at this, you might get into the habit of saying, like, to somebody who isn't clear, oh, by the way, when I think of a turkey sandwich, I mean this. What do you think of? What would be a perfect turkey sandwich for you? And when both sides of the communication are sensitive to this idea that the words don't mean the same thing to everybody, and when both sides are trying to clarify, It really helps, and it really improves communication.
So then there's not that improving the communication, then there'll be no hurt feelings, so to speak, or
no failure, or it certainly lessens the likelihood that somebody's going to come back. Having put, having put their energy and resources into doing something that you didn't want. They really thought it was what you want. They were proud of it. They brought it to you, all smiles, thinking it was going to be perfect, and it wasn't. And there'll be less of that. And in business and in your personal life, that's really important.
Okay. So once again, communication. And some of the things you write about, the topics, well, the parenting and thinking, leadership.
I teach communication primarily in 3 contexts. I teach communication generally for managers and the leaders of companies so that they reduce those kind of problems, so that they understand how to avoid negation, so that they understand how to be clear about what they want, and that they understand how to communicate it. So I teach the managers and leaders of companies communication. I teach persuasion.